think we've had
Something you don't want to get.
Indeed. Hi, I'm Connor McKenna at the El Camino Hospital. I'm here with Dr. Philgood.
Hi, I'm Dr. Philgood.
Doctor, when was the first reported case of gonorrhea?
Well, actually, gonorrhea is the most common and oldest STD in existence, which makes it so incredibly itchy. I mean, hard to cure.
What were the first records?
We actually have very early and accurate records, like Egyptian papyrus paper, that states quite clearly that it is gonorrhea, and we even have early French words such as chaud pisse, meaning hot piss.
In those times, how could you distinguish reports of syphilis and gonorrhea?
Well, actually, in 1520, John Farrell wrote a book about the differences, which was actually quite extensive and used to this day.
I was under the impression that in 1550, John Hunter convinced the medical community that there were no difference between syphilis and gonorrhea. There were just different manifestations of the same disease.
Well, actually, he did confuse the medical and scientific communities, but thankfully, we have records that survived from before and shortly after that proved him wrong.
Where did the name gonorrhea come from?
Well, Galen in the 2nd century BC came up with gonorrhea, or flowing of seed.
That's very interesting. How is gonorrhea transmitted?
Well, actually, gonorrhea is an STD, which means any sexual activity between a man and a woman can transmit gonorrhea.
Have you heard when Philippe Rizard inoculated 17 prisoners in the mid-1800s?
Yeah, what's wrong with inoculating prisoners? They're on death row anyways.
What was that evidence used to prove?
Well, the prisoners produced occasional ulcers that bled and pussed quite a bit, suggesting that not only had they contracted only gonorrhea, but they did not have any syphilis symptoms, and that they were two completely different STDs.
Why is gonorrhea significantly different from other STDs?
Even though gonorrhea is found worldwide, it tends to spread logistically and in several different communities simultaneously, meaning it's what they call a neighborhooded STD. What percentage of gonorrhea cases are actually reported each year, Doctor?
Well, out of 700,000 cases, only about 50% is reported.
That's very interesting, Doctor. Doctor, do you think that few cases are reported because of the symptoms like burning urination, pain during sex, painful constant secretion of pus, and disgusting other materials from the penis?
Hell yes.
Final question, Doctor. What inspired you to become a doctor?
Back in high school, my biology teacher, Mr. Ortigos, he inspired me. That great man.
Doctor, it seems like there was a sharp increase between 1960, 1970, and 1980. Well, what do you attribute that to?
A whole lot of sex with a whole lot of different people.
Randomly?
Absolutely.
That was fun. Right. Dr. Philgood, this graph represents the ages that each number of people get gonorrhea. What do you attribute the dramatic rise between 14 and 25 to?
That seems to be the age of people when they start getting it on.
Lots of fun. Lots of fun.
Indeed.
As you can see here on our graph, this dramatically increase in men and then shortly following women, does that lead us to believe that men are getting it on with more people randomly without getting checked or without even asking the questions?
Yes.
Wow. Wow. I think we can safely say that it is all women's fault.
Yeah, it is.
Oh God, we're doomed.
All hospital personnel, please be aware 2 psychiatric patients are missing from the psychiatric ward. A lab coat and spoon also happen to be missing at this time. If you see anything suspicious, please call security immediately.
you doing, son?
Dad, I think I have gonorrhea.
Oh, oh dear. Do you know anything about it?
Don't you think I would have researched this before talking to you?
Well, is gonorrhea a virus or a bacteria?
It's a bacteria.
Oh, very good, son. Then what's the scientific name of this disease you...
Neisseria gonorrhea.
That's correct, son. Which part of the world was this?
It's a really old, quickly spreading STD. It's found in all major countries.
Do you know any of the symptoms?
Yes.
Okay.
Squirting thick pus from the male areas and painful... Yeah, let's not go into that.
Okay.
Please.
Is your disease transmitted from person to person?
Yes, in very sexual ways.
Sexual reproduction.
No, just sex.
Oh. Well, oh dear. Is there any treatment?
That I know of, there are lots of different antibacterial combinations. Anything from penicillin to newly created experimental drugs can get rid of it fairly quickly.
It's good that you know that, son.
Dad, can we make a doctor's appointment? See if we can actually get rid of this?
Well, if you're old enough to have sex, you're old enough to go see a doctor by yourself.